Says we're being live streamed.
I see live in the top corner, but it's not red. I don't know if that matters. Did you go and see Ant-Man yet?
No, not yet.
If I wasn't a little tired and have already seen it, I would have went with you.
That's okay. It'll be out on Disney Plus soon.
Yeah.
And we are live. Everything's working.
There we go.
It was giving me a hard time. They want to let me sign in.
Good old reliable technology, right?
It's great when it works.
Yeah. And horrible when it doesn't. It's like every wireless printer ever.
Well, we just switched. So I'm like having to reestablish every freaking wireless connection in this house now.
Hope you got all your passwords written down.
I got a spreadsheet,
There you go.
but we got rid of Comcast.
Who'd you end up going with?
T-Mobile, believe it or not.
Oh, surprising. I hope it works out for you.
It's over $100 a month cheaper.
Well, hopefully the service holds up compared to Comcast.
It would be hard to do worse.
Fair enough.
Bruno, you all set for the retreat? Did you work that out?
I'm not sure what the driving arrangements are. We're going to figure it out tonight.
Okay.
I think Sean doesn't like to be a passenger.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My wife just doesn't want me in a car by myself. She's afraid something will happen.
No, she cares. She's just being safe.
Maybe. Can't live your whole life being safe, though.
No. I'll be right back.
But we shall see.
Was it about 2 hours for you?
That is a good question. All right, I don't need that. Sucking up my bandwidth. My federal income tax return was accepted.
Cool.
Yeah, especially since I'm getting money back.
That's even better.
Looking for the
I guess you go up to
address.
Long Pond? Is how far up is it?
I don't know how. But I somehow have like two, maybe. Oh my God. I get one more thing about Camp Lejeune. Friday. Somebody put the address in here and I can't find it. Austin, Healy, Rocco, and Charles. Okay. 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Okay.
According to this. I'm trying to pull it up on satellite. Looks like a nice house. But 2 hours for me. That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Should be a good weekend. Weather-wise.
You're gone, right?
No, I'm not. No, not going.
I saw your name.
No.
It doesn't mean anything. No, maybe not. I have literally the same people, 3 group chats on my phone. I don't know why they're not all in one.
Hey, Sean.
Here comes trouble.
Hey, Sean.
Evening.
What's going on, guys?
What's going
Not
on,
much.
TJ?
Not much.
No Jeremy tonight?
Well, it's still pretty early.
Does he change time out there? Nevada, do they change?
Yeah, every state does.
There's a couple states that actually voted to not do the the time see whatever. I can't even remember what the hell they call it anymore. But
Daylight savings time.
yes,
They could all vote to not have it. And I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah, leave it just like it is now.
Not much.
you're on early tonight, Austin.
You didn't do daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys missed a fun weekend.
See, looked over the water, you know,
How'd you make out
Oh, I didn't sell a damn
with your
thing,
stuff? No.
but made a lot of contacts. I handed out close to, well, I went there with 2,000 business cards and I came back with 6.
Sometimes
Right.
it seems the best thing you could do, that the best result is the networking.
Yeah. And actually, met at an organization over here in Spokane that's their deal is they do a memorial ride which zigzags the country. Last year's ride logged in 22,000 miles, and they ride to each precinct, each home, each department that has lost an officer in the line of duty.
A lot
And
of stops.
do something for the, for either the family, the department, or the precinct. Well, they're local and they've heard of Project Refit. I got a hold of James and TJ and he gave them the info today. So hopefully they can all link up. We can do something good. I'm going to wind up doing, sounds like they're going to commission me to do some work on a bike of one of the CHP officer who was killed this last year, as well as possibly do a portrait piece for them. Something to signify, their mission, their purpose.
How long they been around?
I'm not sure. I don't have their card with me right now. It's actually out of my workspace. But like for the bike show, it was, it opened up at 3 on Friday, closed at 8. So there's 5 hours. I did not sit down. Saturday, they opened up at 10 and closed at 7. And I was on my feet for all but maybe an hour of it. And Sunday was nonstop. All right. So, it was a great weekend. I got to meet a bunch of builders. I got to meet, I was able to introduce my work to a completely new market. And it was, for me personally, it was an insane weekend. It was awesome. I love the response I had. I had at least a dozen offers to purchase the people wanting to purchase my portrait piece that I did for the VA art show. And not one of them blinked when I told them the price. Hopefully somebody buys it soon. That would be great. But time will tell. The biggest thing was Saturday. A vet came through and he stopped by my booth, and within 5 minutes of seeing this piece, he recognized the portrait of the kneeling soldier. Not because he's familiar with the imagery, but that was actually his best friend.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Because when I made that piece, I used combat photos. I did not use stock photos. I wanted to get as detailed and depict with as much accuracy as I could. And so the portion of the portrait that shows the kneeling soldier in front of the battlefield cross was a photo I found that was taken in Baghdad at the memorial for Specialist Nick Newby, who is from the Spokane, Washington area. And I didn't realize it until after the piece was done, how the actual local tie that was going to bring in. Because I started that piece at a Veterans Day event at Harley Davidson here locally, where I was actually presenting Nick Newby's mom with a portrait of her son, as well as a local motorcycle group that was founded by I presented them with a portrait of one of their founding members who I got to know before he passed away. And after the piece was done, I took it over to this guy's mom, because she runs a nonprofit over here called New Beginnings, and she named it in honor of her son. But they help out active duty, they help out military, law enforcement, firefighters, first responders when they need things. You know, it's kind of like a lending closet for people, for veterans and people who serve in need. And she told me that looked just like the photograph that was taken at her son's memorial in Baghdad. And I actually had to go back and double check and realize at that point it was taken at her son's memorial. But to have this kid come up and within 5 minutes of looking at this thing, recognizing his best friend, was just, I mean, it was insane for me. It was, everything stopped right then and there. None of the other people that were up talking to me mattered. It was, it was just me and this dude talking, shooting the shit, talking about deployment. And he was actually kneeling on the other side of the soldier that's depicted. So it was just, it was a very powerful moment for the weekend. And I mean, that was the highlight of that piece that I did. That's honestly the best feeling I've ever gotten from that one piece of work. It beats out winning the BA's art show. It beats out, the attention that piece has gotten. That moment right there is the highlight for it. But the rest of the weekend was amazing. We had a whole lot of 1% MCs were present at the show. At one point, I had 3 different 1%ers clubs represented, standing right next to each other, right in front of my booth. I had guys from the Gypsy Jokers, guys from the Amigos, and guys from the Banditos. And if you know anything about the MCs, those 3 do not like each. Well, that none of the 1%ers like each other. They tolerate each other at best, but these guys all hate each other. And we had sheriff's department, we had state patrol, we had city cops, we had Phoenix Armed Security was at the event, just in case something popped off with the MCs.
How many days was it?
3 days.
Okay.
And now I'm taking 4 of the pieces that I did to be as displays. I'm going to give it a few days here off of my last post and see if anybody locally or regionally wants to buy these pieces or one of these pieces or something. And then all 4 pieces are being listed on eBay for auction. And let's see if we can start a bidding war and I can actually start doing some real interesting stuff with that. Sorry, I'm getting attacked by my dog.
Are you coming down this weekend?
No, I'm not.
Because I saw,
That's a bit of a long commute for me.
I saw an Austin listed on there, and I thought, I wonder if he's flying down.
Oh, hell no, I'll drive across the line.
Well, that's like a 2, 3, 4 day drive. So
2 days. Fastest I've made across country was from Fort Drum to my hometown in Oregon, which was 50 hours, and that was in a U-Haul pulling a trailer 2 days before Christmas.
yeah, it's a 40-hour trek from coast to coast, they said.
Oh, that's if you follow the speed limit and you drive like an old man. Hey, I'll be back on later on. I'll catch you guys in a bit.
All right.
All right,
All right,
we'll
take it
see
easy,
you.
man.
Austin. All right, let me go through the rules real quick. Well, that's not going to work because I put them away. All right, here we go. Let me get the rules back up. Hello and welcome to Project Refit. We only have a few rules here. No isms, no racism, sexism, or discrimination. We want to respect others and we want them to respect us as well. We try and steer clear of politics and religion, and we're doing a lot better job of it. But we don't always quite make it. So we do our best. No interruptions when someone is talking or telling their story. Maybe the first time they've been able to talk about it out loud. And we have a lot of people with TMIs. So sometimes if you distract them a little bit, real hard to get them back on track. Are you laughing because you've seen it happen, or
Oh, you said TMI, too much information,
TBI?
instead of TBI.
I was so close. So close.
Oh.
My whole week's been like that. It's okay. No diagnosing. Usually none of us are trained. And even if you are, this is not the time or place. Don't tell others what they must do. You can tell them what worked for you, and maybe they'll try it. Who knows? We do encourage therapy. Just opening up and talking in the group is therapeutic. And several people here on Buddy Check-In have gone to professional therapy with great results when they were ready. Have a little respect for the moderator, not laughing at him, almost falling out of your chair. But that's okay. And hopefully I will be able to guide the discussion in the way it needs to go. We used to say, warning, we will mock you. It means you've been accepted as one of us, but we've already seen that. So, all right, I am going to start in the upper left on my screen. So, John, how are you? Red, yellow, green?
Green. Hit a
Pretty
little
green.
yellow on Monday, but worked through it. I think
Today is Monday.
Remember we were starting a conversation on anxiety.
Yeah.
After building up and finally, you said, what do you do to cope with it? And what I did, sat down, and I said, what's the most important thing that needs to get done out of 4 different things? Tack that one thing, go to the next one, go to the next one. So no, things are good now.
Good.
Good.
Sean, how are you?
I'm green now that you said TMI. Yeah, I mean, it's
Hey,
been a rough day,
You
but
got to take your laugh wherever you can get it.
yeah, it's been a rough day, but I'm always a little bit better when I get to come on here with you guys. So
Well, that's good.
just still, dealing with different things associated with my mom's passing and everything. Some self turmoil and stuff, and then trying to help my mother-in-law. God bless her. I love her. She's been a big help throughout my life. But I just can't figure out how in the world she made it as far as she did, because she just needs somebody to help her with everything. And I don't, since it was a bad day and she's computer, like she might as well just give up her cell phone, have a house phone, no technology. But since I was already aggravated when like I'm trying to get her to do things and she's like, I don't know, it's just not working. And I'm like, oh. So, but I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I am too.
I'm
This is the first
decided-
one of these that I've been able to go to.
Right. I've decided that I think I'm gonna take a break from society for a little bit and kind of reset myself. I can't stand dealing with people, with the public anymore. So it'll be nice to just kind of be out in the woods, or I guess the closest thing to it. I don't know much about this location. I was gonna look it up and everything.
I was looking at it on the satellite photo when I was looking on my map.
Right.
Looks like a fairly big place. There's places near it, but it's like wrapped in trees. I mean, all the places there are set back in the woods.
Nice. So yeah, you kind of had me confused earlier too, because I had said, if you don't mind, I'd like to drive, and you said okay, and sounds good, and then you said, anyone want to ride with me? And
I have that group chat is coming up in 3 places on my phone screen. So I can't just look at one. I got to look at all 3, and I am totally confused. I don't know why it broke it up that way.
sometimes I get ones like that too. It used to be straight up Apple and Android broken down into 2, because Android and Apple didn't play well together. But this one's staying as a group for me.
Now I got 3 different groups. It took me 10 minutes to find the address because I didn't remember which one it was in. One group has 10, one group has 12, one group has 11. Go figure that one out.
That is weird, because I think overall, I thought it was only like 11 total.
Well,
Yeah.
my wife's only concern is she does not want me to drive up alone. She doesn't want me in the car alone
Right.
because she's afraid something bad will happen or I'll do something stupid. Something stupid is probably a much higher possibility than something bad.
Right.
But so I really don't care. I mean, I could ride, I could drive.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
a horrible part of my anxiety is like not being in control. So
Yeah,
that's
I
why
could
I
just go to
said if
sleep.
you
Well,
don't mind, I'll drive, and then I'll just come pick you up. But I didn't know what all you had.
I'm going to bring one camera. Yeah, I'm not bringing a studio lighting kit down there. It's so, one camera bag, one small suitcase, because I am going to have to bring in, some extra insulin and all. But that's about it. I mean, I can go a couple
All right.
days with it.
Yeah, and I was
As a matter of fact, I'm not even using the CPAP right now. I'm using the dental appliance
okay.
because it's not as uncomfortable as the CPAP machine,
Okay.
and you don't have to plug it in.
Yeah, I was telling Steve, I'm just trying to figure out if I need to put the luggage rack on the top of the car or not. So, but I think we'll be all right without it. I'm just bringing a duffel.
Well, Steve's in Hamilton near me, right?
Yeah, Steve's in Hamilton.
As a matter of fact, I think he lives almost across the street from the DAV.
Okay.
So we can drive up to you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have any problem coming and getting you guys. You know,
Okay.
I get done work at 5. I'll come home, get some smoochies in, and then be on my way to get you guys.
That'll work.
So I think Steve gets done at like 3:30, so he'll be done and everything.
I should be home. I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, so I should be done by 1 maybe.
Okay.
And you're bringing the dog, right?
Yes.
See pepperonis?
No, we don't
Okay.
give her anything that's got like artificial stuff in it.
Okay. All right. I know not to bring them then. TJ, where are you at?
I'm green. I had a pretty hectic week last week and had a nice calming weekend where I just zoned out and reset myself with the thanks of my girlfriend to help me with them and stuff. They hung out and had a girls 2 days pretty much, and I got to kind of just clear my own head. But today I'm green. Everything's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
Did you see that list of stuff I'm getting rid of?
I did. I
I don't
did.
know what it's worth. I mean, I know I looked online and I got prices that other people are selling stuff for, but it's mainly dealers. So I don't think I'm getting anywhere near that.
Yeah, that's the hard part, especially with selling stuff like that used. The main thing is the when you buy stuff like the firearm, that's you got to pay an extra $40 and then 15 or 20 for the other check. So on top of what it costs, you're spending damn near $60 on top of whatever it cost.
Yeah, I did not realize that because I have never, because I asked our police chief here, I said, if I sell it to somebody that's not in New Jersey, what kind of paperwork? I mean, do I have to do the state paperwork or what? He said, you got to go through a firearms dealer in the state,
Yeah.
in this state and in that state. He says, otherwise you become a federal criminal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. He
So
said-
you got to ship it through an FFL and stuff. And if you
Yeah.
need, there's local guys everywhere, but if you need a guy, I have a FFL I use exclusively.
Well, I'm like, I wonder if I'm just better off bringing it all to a dealer and saying, what do you give me for it?
Well,
You could do consignment.
they still
think
take a good 25%.
Do they?
Yeah,
Because I know Butch's does consignment.
he's
I think the
closing.
gun rack does too. Oh, is he? Wow.
He's selling the building and everything. They're retiring. They're done. They've been there for many years, but the gun rack does consignment. I've considered it with those guys a few times for a few of the firearms I got.
Well, I figure the sooner I get it out of the house, the better off I'll be. Although my grandson wants to go out shooting one time before I get rid of it. So I don't know.
Well, even if you get rid of it, if you guys want to go out, I can always take you. I got plenty.
But yeah, I'm not ever going to blow my brains out and I'm never going to get to carry it again. So I do want to get something I could pop some squirrels off with.
Like a long rifle, like a 22.
I don't know what well, I can't no, it can't be their houses are too close here.
Well, then a BB gun,
Yeah, something like that.
an air rifle.
I was gonna say probably more of a straight up pellet gun.
Yeah.
Well, if you need one,
permits for them.
in the state of New Jersey to purchase one in this state, Yes, you need to do that.
Firearms
But
ID card.
yes, but I can text you.
Yeah, I got a firearms ID card, so that's not an issue. But if you buy a pistol, you have to have a pistol permit for that too, right?
Yeah, you have to have your FF firearms ID card, and you have to do a individual firearms thing on top of it.
Yeah, I'll just get a rifle. This way I don't have to worry about it.
But if you drive over to PA or Delaware, you can just pick one up at Walmart, and you don't have to worry about it.
Even better.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to kill some of the flying, some of the bushy-tailed rats.
You ever eat them?
Yeah,
I was gonna say they're not bad eating.
yeah, but you need like 6 of them to make a meal.
Yeah, yeah.
Although these ones are pretty fat from eating all my way's birdseed. And we got a raccoon, but yeah, that I would need a regular firearm for that sucker. He's big.
Oh, listen, you just need to get one of those professional pellet guns. They got guys on the internet that, I mean, they got pellet guns that are as powerful as a 22, if not more.
No, I don't want to be hitting the kids across the street or a car going by. So just want to pick the little bushy-tailed rats off. Mike Manning, how you doing?
Oh, hey, sorry, couldn't figure out how to get the damn thing going. Hey, I'm doing good, guys. How you doing tonight?
Good. That's good.
I just had a spare minute for once, which is kind of an oddity on a Monday. And I know Lombard's always saying, "Hey, man, did you dial into the Monday call? You dial into the Monday call?" And lo and behold, I dial in. That's some bitch
And he's
nowhere
not
to be
here.
found.
He just sent me a direct message on Facebook. What'd he say? Everything went okay. Yeah, so far, but it's early yet. All right, let me know if there's any issues. So, and now he's
Yeah,
not active anymore. So
He tried to
He
give
got
me
a
some
job,
song and
I
dance. Yeah, he gave me some song and dance about having to study for an exam. Boo hoo.
yeah, he's got it.
I
He
just
has
call
to
it
take a
poor
class.
multitasking.
Yeah, he's usually
think-
a Friday guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he has to do that class for the job he took.
Yeah, he's sounds like he's dual hatting a lot this week. About to be, so
That's
good on
okay.
him though.
All right, Shara, how are you doing?
Are you able to hear me?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Usually I'm terrible with this technology. So I am green. I was actually just messaging you guys. I am on call for swing shifts for this Firewatch. For this, it's just a security company. But in between classes, because we just started a new class today for law enforcement. So I just wanted to pop in, say a quick hi, and I hope everyone has had a good weekend and staying healthy. Much love.
Well, we appreciate that. I guess I'm last. I'm actually pretty green. My wife and I had some words about her scheduling stuff on Wednesdays when we're supposed to go out. And I think I lost that one. And but we went out Saturday. And I guess maybe it was the weather. I don't know, but it was a little rough, and my knees were not holding up real well. And she was babying me a little too much. And I said something about, every time we get in these discussions, it's, you have to change. You have to not take it that way. You have to overlook it. When does somebody else have to watch what they say? And she looked at me and she didn't say anything. And then she said something and I went over and I hugged her and she goes, what was that for? I said, every time you say something that I don't like, I'm going to come over and hug you before I say anything. And she like looked at me and, but I figure if I'm overreacting, that'll give me a chance to calm down. And if nothing else, I got a hug out of it. So we'll see how that works. I give
Good
it about,
strategy.
yeah, I give it about a week before I'm hearing, get the hell away from me.
Hugged out pretty quick.
We'll see. But I don't know. It's, you know, maybe they're right. Maybe I do overreact. Maybe I should be letting more stuff go. I don't know, but that is not my nature. And so I'm going to have to learn to come up with other ways to deal with it. But so everybody could rest easy. If you guys say something that pisses me off, I'm not hugging any of you. So. But yeah, other than that, it was a good weekend. Does anybody else get that where like you're just off and you don't know why and you can't go and say, well, this happened and that's what did it, or you're just okay, so it's not just me. Now I don't know whether to feel good for me and bad for you, or
if you remember, Bruno, just the weeks prior to my mom passing, you know, I talked about how I just was existing, you know, and I didn't know. I mean, I think I'm definitely the kind of guy, aside from my mom passing away, you know, people say, what do you got to be, you know, depressed about, stuff like that, you know? I mean, I got a roof over my head, everything I need, I have, you know, but
I feel like that sometimes, and the only thing it does is when I get depressed, it makes me feel guilty because I am depressed, which
see, when I get depressed, the only thing I feel guilty about is I don't even know if it's that I feel guilty. I really don't want to hear, you know, like say my wife comes home and she says, what did you do? And I say, well, I just sat in the chair all day. Oh, you couldn't do this. You couldn't do that. You know, I could have, but I didn't. So, you know.
yeah, she doesn't. I mean, I'm learning like, I don't mind cooking, but I have a lot of trouble cooking with her.
I think you had said that before.
Yeah, because it's like, why are you doing it that way? Why aren't you doing it? Because this is the way I do it. And so what I'll do a lot of times now, if I'm going to cook, I'll wait till she leaves for work, and I'll try and get it all done before she gets home. So I mean, remember I said I don't think we're ever going to be completely fixed. But we'll, you know, basically what they do is teach us ways to deal with how we are.
Right.
And that is how I deal with how we are. The problem is if we're driving, I can't knock her out in the car. You know, so I can get away with that on some things, but not everything. But yeah, I'm learning a little bit. I'm figuring it out. Um, it took me a long time to get like this. I guess it's going to take me a while to learn how to control and keep everything under where it needs to be. How are you, Jeremy?
Hold on one second.
Okay, sorry about that. Say again?
I said, how are you?
Figuring shit out.
This is the first time that I could remember that you are not logging on by like 9:01.
It's the first time ever. I've been trying to figure other shit out. I got preoccupied with having one of those solar panel people trying to show up and sell me solar panels.
Well,
And
I will be very honest. I don't think they are all that spectacular as far as saving the earth, but they do knock your electric bill down.
see, they took a look at what I've got going on and said they couldn't do much for me.
Really? Why is that?
Too many modifications.
Hmm.
But then I informed them of what my plans are, and both of them asked if they could come back and be an involved person. They got a peek at what's going on with the computers.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, all the panel does is generate electricity. So it shouldn't matter what you have going on in the house.
But see, I'm not just looking for the panel. I'm after the panel, the backup batteries, the control panel and distribution block. And I need it very specific because of, well, what I'm running.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then, I guess.
So do you just don't have like the roof real estate or land real estate for enough panels?
No, they want to sell each company tries to sell you on what they want. The minute they realize that you need specialized and that your voltage requirements are outside of what their different plans are, the price jumps through the roof and becomes not worth it. I could design the system and order the parts and pay someone else to install the shit for cheaper.
Well, that makes one of us here then that could do that.
Yeah, they just got a look in my garage and were kind of mind blown. But then I told them to look at the voltage. I'm reducing my footprint. Welcome to LED and everything super high efficient. Plus, if you've been deployed, you know how to cut energy usage down. Why? Because, your 60K or 30K generator is the one providing it. So you learn to be efficient. But when the gentleman was here trying to sell solar panels or convince me they spotted paperwork that I'm working on calling out with the military, which I know you've seen, Bruno.
Yeah, I try and keep up with the posts on Facebook. I have a little trouble following it sometimes, but
Well, he noticed that, some reason I got a lot of hazmat qualifications. That for some reason, yeah, per the qualifications that I have, I should be listened to, but for some reason I'm not.
it's because you're telling them something they don't want to hear.
Well, oh well. I'm just explaining that someone failed to do their job. I'm just realizing, yeah, their job was really, really super important and they didn't do it. November 2005, an environmental quality officer was sent by Department of Defense to investigate why people were coming home sick. He came home, instead of with an answer, he came home with a different question. They've been investigating the question since he put it out there. We don't need Gulf War syndrome. We need to make it about something different. Let's make it about burn pits.
Well, I guess that's one way to handle it.
So you mean you can get rid of your stroke just by erasing it off the paper and saying it was something else?
Probably not, but I have seen them try and do stuff like that. Oh, that's not what happened.
Kind of like, well, yeah, we're not supposed to. Wait a minute. Have we put out the rules?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, then somebody else talk because I'm about to break them.
Okay, we don't want that. We'll save that for a Friday. But yeah, it looks like a pretty good week. Everybody seems to be doing well for some reason. Sunspots? I don't know.
Solar flare.
I was reading something and I forget where it was at, where somebody got they gave him an all electric Prius because the batteries were shot, and it was like $5,000 or $6,000 to replace the battery. And apparently the guy knows what he's doing, and he just built his own battery for under $1,000.
I still want to see someone take one of those battery operated Priuses, take out the battery and the electric motor and throw a Hemi in it.
Might not be a bad car if they did that.
I have the feeling you would have people screaming of, "What are you doing?"
It amazes me though, when you think about it, they have to mine the lithium for the batteries. It is a finite resource. It is not a renewable resource. It's finite. It pollutes the environment. They have no idea how they're going to dispose of these batteries when they're burned out. If you get in an accident, it becomes a mobile toxic waste site.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
How is that any good for the environment?
Because they say so.
Oh, Bruno, you've seen the paperwork I've been throwing up.
Yeah, I guess it's
I am not the person to be talking about this.
I'm sorry.
Remember, not supposed to talk politics.
I'm talking. Well, environmental issues. I mean, it's not.
Right. And there's a combined federal regulation 49 that is the technical transport of hazmat that wasn't followed.
But it's like the same thing when the guy came to sell me the solar panels, and he's, like you're saving a tree. Like, I do not care about that. Tree is a renewable resource. We can cut trees down, burn them for heat, and they grow another tree. That's a renewable resource. That solar panel is not renewable. The only reason I got it is because it knocked my electric bill in half.
See, I hurt the solar panel guys' feelings when I brought up, why are we doing solar panels when all the windmill turbine generators throughout the country, they only use 20%. The power grid can't handle the load because the wiring and everything. Oh, wait a minute. You mean proper maintenance and care has never been done.
Nope.
So they can only run it at 20%. Otherwise, they'll fry the wires buried in the ground and hung on the lines.
Yeah, they're going to have to start doing something.
Oh, you mean that they need to reinvest? Oh my God.
They don't like doing that.
Well, no. Again, they're still bickering about copper piping when Plex pipe has been out how long?
Years. I don't know.
But we're still fighting over the same old things. It's like we're stuck in the 70s. So what's the topic tonight that's not political?
Oh, we haven't even picked the topic yet. Although given that we're going to be doing a retreat, maybe how important is it for us to get away every once in a while and regroup, so to speak? Is it important? Is it more important to some of us than others?
I'm sure it's probably like a, personal preference type thing. Some people, they reset different ways. Me, I like to, part of my reset is to get into a peaceful environment.
Well, that should happen this weekend.
Yep, I hope so. I think it will.
I'm the oddity. I like going out and getting in the center of things. Unfortunately, I'm homebound. So yeah. There's that.
That's a reset. It's just not a typical reset.
It's not one I wanted. I had to give up driving. I had to give up
going out
driving.
with people though.
Yeah. I've done Wounded Warrior Project bike ride. I've done River City Rock Fest. I've done multiple Comic-Cons. Hell, I did Royal Rumble. But then I hear loud bangs and everything else. I don't get startled. I'm the guy lighting fireworks off. Now, ignore the fact that, okay, it hit me. Whoopty, I didn't feel it. Oh, I'm on fire? Oh, okay. I can't feel it.
Yeah, that's probably not good.
No. Well, it's a give and take. I've spent 28 hours in a tattoo chair and only had to pay $100 a session because I could sit there without saying a word. If you can't feel it, it don't matter. Now, unfortunately, I am a scared little girl when it comes to needles. You bring a needle around me, I turn bright white and fall to the floor. So they had to tattoo me in places that they could tattoo me without seeing it.
Well, that's certainly interesting, different.
Hey, it led to some awesome tattoo work for really, really good price. $100 a time. And they all tried to make me scream, but yeah, when you can't feel it, really didn't work.
My thing was, even for probably maybe 8 or 10 years before I had the stroke, the only time I didn't really isolate was at the Comic Cons. That was where I went to feel better, if you will. Which really doesn't make any sense, but
How does that not make sense? You went from completely shut off to completely out there.
yeah, but I didn't. I was there, but I was like always kind of on the outside taking pictures. It's only been the past few years that I've been getting like involved with people.
Yeah, but that's still one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
Because you went from not seeing anybody to no shit, you could see Deadpool, Marvin the Martian, and a stormtrooper high-fiving, dancing together. That's kind of an extreme, you know, just saying.
Yeah. It was a total 180. But
Hell, I didn't know. I had never even been to a Comic-Con until 2017.
I think my first was 2013.
Well, being where I was at, Comic-Cons were too expensive to go to. Because you got Emerald City, you got Jet City. Yeah.
Some of them are a little pricey.
Yeah, but I mean, you get what you pay for because their autograph and photo board that they have had some big name players on it. Where like Jet City, yeah, I can't count how many times I met the guy from, oh God. He's one of the extras from Walking Dead. No lines, no nothing, but he's got the car. He always makes it to the lower budget ones, where the higher budget ones, yeah, they had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep,
The
I like
entire
them.
cast. The only Comic-Con that I will not go to is, I'm sorry, if Shatner's speaking, I'm not going. That shit gets way too crazy when Shatner's in the building.
He's funny though.
Absolutely. It's the other people that are the problem.
I did. I photographed a few Star Trek conventions back in the days when we had to use film, and I saw Shatner. It was absolutely hysterical. He had two kids in the audience asking him questions about the warp drive, and he's like, it's it's a TV show. He goes, it's not real. And the kid, I mean, they don't even break stride. They look at him and go, but if it was real, what would happen if, and he's like, get up. And like 2 months later, it's a skit on Saturday Night Live. Oh my God. I was there when he wrote that.
See, the only Star Trek person that I've actually met was Seven of Nine. I don't remember her name, but I've got a photo with her. It was Seven of Nine. Fucking Borg.
Yeah, see, now you said it. And as soon as you said you can't remember her name, now I can't remember it.
But you can picture her in your head wearing.
I know who it
makeup.
is.
Yeah.
I know who it is. But it was funny. I had a Star Trek shirt on the other day, and it had a picture of George Takei, and I've met him and hung out with him for a little bit. Walter Koenig, I've met him. Jimmy Doohan, I've met him. Terry Farrell. She was on Deep Space Nine. I actually have 2 autographs from her. One belongs to my daughter, and one is mine. And it was funny because she was like really, really late getting to the convention. And when she got there, she apologized. She was in a car accident on the way there. And Philadelphia police, like, you can't leave until we're done. And they kept her for like 45 minutes to an hour. So she was over a half hour late getting to her panel. And she apologized. And as soon as her panel was over, they drug her out to start signing autographs. Now, this was back when you didn't have to pay extra for the autograph. All you had to do was wait in line for it. And I'm standing there waiting in line for the autograph. And as I get up there, the guy said, because I had a card, a trading card, and a book. And he said, you can only get one thing autographed. I said, that's fine. And as I get up there, she's arguing with the guy that is her security guard that, I need something to eat. I got on a plane at like 9 o'clock my time. It's 3 o'clock now. I haven't had anything to eat, and, I was in a car accident. What is the big deal? Why can't somebody go get me something to eat? And the guy's like, I'm not going nowhere. They told me I got to stay with you. And I get up there and I said, Miss Farrell, I said, it's not real food. I said, but I bought my daughter some fudge. And I was going to bring it home for her, but she would not holler at all if I gave it to you. And she goes, your daughter's a fan? I said, yeah. And she goes, that is really sweet. And she said, I would love to have her fudge. And she she's like eating the fudge, and she goes, what do you have? Did you have something to autograph? I said, yeah. And I gave her the card, and she said, do you have something for your daughter? I said, yeah, but they told us, don't even ask. It was one autograph. She turns around, she looks at the security guard and goes, he got me fudge. I'm signing 2 autographs for him. She said, do you want to make something of that? And the guy looked at her and he started to say something. He said, no, ma'am. And he just put his head down. And she signed the other autograph. And it was so funny.
See, I never got autographs from all the people I met while I was in the military.
I usually don't. I did the one Star Trek convention because I was the only official photographer, and I was like hanging out with these guys for hours. And the only one that didn't really hang out was Walter Koenig. He used to play Chekhov because he was still recovering from a heart attack. And he did not even, I couldn't believe he even showed up because he did not look real good. And his wife was with him, and he had a nurse with him. And he would go do his talk when he was scheduled, and he would sign his autographs when he was scheduled. and then he would disappear. Everybody else would, hang out. And, so I got autographs from all them. And, but usually if I'm the official photographer, I will not even ask for an autograph. I'm like, yeah, I'm working. It's not professional. So I don't normally do it. But,
See,
you know.
I met a few people while I was in, but yeah, I was too starstruck because of who they were. It was Kurt Angle, Robin Williams, a bunch of people from Nashville, due to the fact that I was stationed at Fort Campbell. I worked for the aviation brigade. They came down with tickets, or got tickets given to them for a live taping of Nashville Star.
Nice.
Yeah, they ended up giving me a set, and I took my then wife, now ex-wife. I took her there. We ended up meeting Cletus T. Judge, Leanne Rhymes, and a whole bunch of other people. Met Craig Morgan, Chubby Checker, hung out with Craig Morgan's band, playing pool and drinking beer at the bar. Big reason for hanging out with the band. I used to own a house in Spring Hill, Tennessee. They live right up the street. And yeah, so it was hey, we're neighbors, not, I'm a fan, not I'm here, blah, 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 for whatever. It's we're neighbors, we can have a beer, play pool, blah, blah, blah. That was actually at the VA Winter Sports Clinic in 2011. Craig Morgan, Chubby Checker. Chubby Checker performed and hung around for photos for a minute, but then they had to take him out and put him in the ambulance and give him oxygen due to the fact that it was Snowmass, Colorado. Snowmass is above Aspen. So he wasn't used to that. They fly in, perform, and then fly right the hell back out. Angle and Williams, I met them. They were doing USO tour in Mosul, Iraq back in 2003. I was walking out of the chow hall and ran straight into Mr. Williams with a pie in both hands. Yeah, I dropped the pies, and well, I got really bad looks from senior chain of command. He was really nice and got me replacement pies. And then I hurried off to the flight line to go back to work. Not even thinking of, it's fucking Robin Williams. Most recent one, NFL player and nationally recognized Purple Heart awardee back in 2018. Since then, I ain't met shit. I stare at the walls. Well, no, I met you guys. Sorry. You guys are still as important. You guys are as important.
We try.
Well, no, there is one item that comes to these meetings that is not as important, and needs to be hunted down and shot.
Dude, Jimmy.
No, you know who he's talking about.
That fucking squirrel.
No.
Hey, it's the only ism that's allowed in the meeting. It's the ism against squirrels.
That's I'm going to get a BB gun from TJ, see if I can kill a few of the ones around my house.
See, if you were around me, I'd let you borrow mine. It's a 1956 Sears and Roebuck 22. It only shoots one shot, but it'll put a hole through a stop sign.
Well, I got to be careful here because there's kids and cars and the school, and so I don't want anything.
Yeah, but it's iron sights. One shot, one kill. You only aim at what you're willing to kill. And if you aim at any of the things you just said, you need to have a different talk.
No, it's not. I'm not worried about aiming at them. I'm worried about missing the squirrel.
How do you miss? Do you need to go back to basic rifle
I was-
marksmanship course?
I was Air Force, not infantry.
You don't need to be infantry to have basic rifle marksmanship. Familiarization happens after basic. If you basic,
We didn't hit shit.
are you
I mean,
saying you
I
were
got-
spray and spray?
I got my sharpshooter badge with everything I had to qualify with, but them little
And you-
bushy-tailed rats are fast.
Hey, I'm still a fan of wet the grass and cut the end of a 220 extension cord off and plug the grass in.
I was told I'm not allowed to do that.
Hey, just put up an electric fence sign around the grass and liability's gone.
I was going to
It's
put
marked.
I was going to put a wiring around the pole that the bird feeders are on with a switch so I could hit it, send them flying. But I was told I wasn't allowed to do that either. So
They got to
You got to
get
get
on
one of them
Amazon.
spring-loaded squirrel catapults. You ever watch any of them videos?
oh yeah. I've seen
Oh,
that.
that's
Fuck yeah.
hilarious.
You say hilarious. I say remarkably satisfying. To watch a little fucker fly.
Well, if I can kill him, I could eat him at least.
Now. This is not Joe's kill him and grill him roadside grill.
I've had squirrel before. It's not bad.
Right, but I like T-bone. Sorry. And there ain't no T-bone in a squirrel.
That is true.
And I'm sorry. I'm kind of, I'm a T-bone. Sorry, T-bone.
But yeah, I wouldn't have I wouldn't have a problem taking out the squirrels.
Or its cousin, the fucking chipmunk.
Chipmunks are not bothering me. The squirrels are damaging stuff and eating all the bird seed. The raccoon, there is no way I'm nailing that sucker. I would need to use the Glock to take that out. That thing is big. I'm thinking a baseball bat for him.
Now, is this one of the raccoons that could look at you and go, really? All right, bitch, let me show you how it's done.
It's a good size. Now, I have never eaten raccoon. But the little trash pandas are, when they're little, they're cute. When they get to the size of like a German Shepherd, they ain't so cute no more.
Nah, I'm good. See, I'm still down for chipmunks and squirrels can die because, in Washington State, no, you're the target. They will assault you anytime they get a chance. You're the target. You might help break open the nut they want open.
But yeah, I just want to get rid of a few squirrels and I'll be happy. But seems like a quiet night.
It is. It is.
You guys say that, and I'm still working on the internet.
I'm still trying to recover from daylight savings time.
Ew. Aren't they trying to put that on the ballot to get rid of that again?
Oh, I wish they would.
Thing is, though, is how do you determine at what end you stay? You know, do you
Well,
stay in the end where the
I want
sun
my
is out
hour
for
back.
longer?
I want my hour back.
So you like an early evening then?
You
The
know
way
what?
it is now.
If they just stop changing it, I'd be happy.
Right, but they're gonna have to make a determination. Do they do it at the spring ahead time and then say we're done? Or the fall behind time and say we're done?
Whatever matches up with Arizona.
Whatever matches up with Greenwich Mean Time.
I think I
Well-
like
Either one, aren't they the same?
I don't know.
is it fall back where the sun stays out longer, or is it spring ahead?
Well,
Not that it
Okay.
stays out longer, but you get you get light later into the evening.
Well, this
Well-
was spring ahead. So we lost an hour.
it also all depends on the wobble of the planet and how it faces the sun. That's what it's all based off of. Because the wobble and rotation is not exactly 365. It's 365 plus point something, to where they have to adjust with daylight savings time. And well, they can't get it right because it's not a whole number.
Well, when did daylight savings time start? Because I'm sure there was prior civilizations that managed before somebody said, "Hey,
Right,
let's,
but
let's add a day."
prior civilizations didn't give a shit that it got dark. Sometimes it got darker in the evening, or it stayed brighter. They didn't care about that.
Right,
They followed the calendar.
but
Unfortunately, welcome to America. Yeah, we've got to be opinionated on everything.
are we the
So-
only ones that do a daylight savings? Is America?
Pretty sure.
I think we are.
And only a vast majority does it. Again, Arizona doesn't.
Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time.
Nope, their time is the same time all the time.
Yeah, the UK, but they don't call it daylight savings time. They call it summertime. It starts on the last Sunday in March and ends on the last Sunday in October.
So they put a solid date to a number that is not whole.
What country?
They made it whole on their calendar, even though it's not whole. That's what daylight savings time is all about, is adjusting to try and keep the calendar to a whole number. When thanks to wobble and how the world rotates, it's not a whole number. It's what the whole bicker is about.
I thought that was supposed to be dealt with leap year.
Well, that's another aspect. They're running both.
Well, there's a lot of countries that do daylight savings.
In different forms or fashions, all based on politics.
This article says the purpose of it is the practice to make use of more daylight in the summer. And I did hear something that supposedly it was created for farmers. But
Yeah, that was what they always used to tell us.
holy shit, there are a lot of places that observe daylight savings. There's 62 different countries that observe it.
That's a lot. Oh man. All I know is it takes me a lot longer to recover when they change the time, when I lose that hour.
I think it's more psychological though, because you think, man, I lost an hour, you know, because you really don't lose it. You know, you gained it before, you know, so they even each other out. But I think it's the thought of, well, and especially because usually it happens, you know, in the morning when we're asleep and you're like, shit, I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock and I'm getting up an hour earlier, you know, like you're never more energetic in, when it goes back to standard time and, you know, you got that extra hour of sleep.
Well, generally, I don't have to get up in the morning anyway. But I think this time there just a lot of things conspired to ruin my sleep.
Yeah. You've been having a rough time lately.
The stupid alarm on my insulin pump. Oh my God, that thing, it does not, it's relentless. Like it went off at an ungodly hour this morning,
Right.
like 1 or 2 o'clock. And so I got up, I left the room because I don't want to wake my wife up. And it was like an hour and a half before I had it under control again.
Now, what do you get insulin all night long?
That I see this particular pump was not designed for a type 2 diabetic. It was designed for a type 1. So yes, it runs basically 24/7. And there's no way to the other one I just would turn off. This one doesn't give you that option. I mean, I can turn it off, but then I got to blow 11 units of insulin when I turn it back on because it thinks it's a fresh cartridge in it. And I can only turn it off for like an hour at a time. When at the end of that hour, it starts alarming. You know, the alarm goes off, and every time it goes off, it gets louder. If I go too low, the alarm goes off, whether I'm wearing the pump or not. I mean, the glucose sensor goes off, which when I start dropping fast, that's a good thing to know. So I don't, you know, wake up dead. But if I don't catch it early on, what happens is I drop a lot, and then I'll drink like a glass of juice or I'll eat a couple cookies, and it doesn't go up real fast. It takes forever. And if it's continuing to drop, I'll usually end up doing too much. And then it's going off that I'm high again. And I don't know. I mean, eventually I'll get used to this new pump, but it's still pretty new, and I guess I haven't quite adjusted to it. You too, Mike. Yeah, everybody's bailing.
I
Hey,
didn't
I came
realize
back
how
in.
small they were.
I'm going to take off too, guys. I got to get up in the morning.
Well, everybody has to get up in the morning.
I got to get 4 a.m.
And not everybody's got to get up in the morning. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you're gonna wake up sometime in the morning, right, Jeremy?
Unless
Because
wake
if
up
you
in the
don't wake
afternoon.
up, then there's issues.
You have to go to sleep first.
Yeah. All right, guys, take it
I'll
easy.
see you Friday, TJ.
Yep, take it easy, guys.
You
Have a
too.
good one. Bye bye. Is TJ going? I thought he was.
I thought he was. Yeah. Well, let me go back into the list.
I know I'm not going to the retreat, but then I'm not traveling east. Sorry, guys.
See, now there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But I thought somebody said something about that like it wound up getting a lot bigger than what they initially thought. So
I think they were looking initially at 8, and then it went up to 11 or 12.
okay. Now, what kind of pump do you have, Bruno? Like, what's the brand and all?
Tandem. I just got it.
It's about the size of an alpha stem, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. I bought I got the pump. I bought the little Spider-Man overlay to put on it so it would at least look cool. I bought the carbon fiber holster. So this way, if I get run over by an 18-wheeler, at least the pump will survive.
I don't think that's what they meant that for. Just saying.
What's it take, like a cartridge that it just periodically will give you insulin?
Yeah. The
Okay.
the Medtronic does not gather as much information as this one does. So this one's a lot more accurate and a lot better for that reason. But it's a pain in the butt to do the cartridge because the Medtronic is just like a little round vial.
Right.
And it just drops in and that's it. This, you actually have to use a syringe and fill the cartridge with insulin.
Oh, wow.
And then it measures, when you put it in the pump, it measures how much insulin is in that cartridge. So it knows exactly.
Right.
And
Yeah, but needles.
they don't bother me anymore. I was giving myself 5 shots a day. So
Holy crap.
From 8 to 13, I had to do daily injections, or twice a day. I had to do injections, but thankfully, auto inject pen, I didn't have to see the fucking needle.
yeah, I had my Humalog was was an auto eject pen, but yeah, you have to literally use a syringe to fill this. And but I got one type of insulin in the morning, which was a long acting that was supposed to last all day. And then I had to take a shot before each meal. And then if I went a little high or whatever, then I would have to take a 5th shot sometime during the day. With this, there's a little site on my side or on my leg, wherever I put it. And a line goes in and you change it every 3-4 days.
Right. Now, did you gradually have to go up to this pump? Or was it the type of thing you didn't know you were diabetic, and by the time you found out, they were like, "Yeah, dude, you
I
need this."
found out I was a diabetic. I guess I was in my late 30s, early 40s.
Ooh.
And yeah, I didn't start out with a pump. So it was like I had to do the finger sticks
Right.
5-6 times a day. I had to do the shots. Then we got the glucose monitor where you put that in, it stays in for like 7-8 days, 10 days, however long it lasts. And everything now, the other thing I like about this pump is everything goes through my cell phone.
Right.
Now, you don't have
So-
to do finger sticks or anything, right?
Nope, not anymore.
Okay, they got I've been around, my only experience with somebody with diabetes was my ex-wife developed gestational diabetes.
Mhm.
And yeah, I got the crash course in the not so nice diet and the the sticks and everything, watching her and helping her. The shit you're explaining, God, can we go back in time and give her some of that technology?
Well, the insurance company fights you on everything. They didn't want to. Initially they didn't want to pay for the glucose monitor because they're expensive. When they finally did pay for it, they wouldn't let me get the one I wanted and the one the doctor wanted me to have because it was too expensive. Then after I had it for a couple of years and I'm used to it, they turned around and said, we don't support that one anymore. You have to get this one, which is the one I wanted in the first place. But now I have to like relearn everything. Then the same thing with the pump. When I got the first one, they wouldn't let me get the one that gave you a lot of information because they said if we make it too easy on you, you won't want to lose weight and do the things you need to do to lower your insulin usage. I'm like, really? That's your excuse because it'll make my life easier so you won't pay for it?
I don't understand that. Like, more information has nothing to do with exercise. It's not like you're going to be like, well, it's giving me my glucose every 20 minutes, therefore I'm not going to exercise.
You see, I don't know what goes through people's minds that work in the insurance companies. When I had to get the pacemaker, they first initially they put me in for a defibrillator. And they put me in for the defibrillator because I went back to work with 13% heart function. And the doctor said, you're going to die on the job. This might keep you alive long enough to get you in the hospital and get a heart transplant. And the insurance company turned down the defibrillator because they said after reviewing all my records, they felt that a pacemaker would increase my heart function and I wouldn't need the defibrillator. And when I went and saw the cardiac surgeon, he said, they're right. The pacemaker will increase your heart function, but not that much. And you're still going to need the defibrillator. He said, the unit I picked out for you, he says, they're both in one unit. And I can't turn the defibrillator off, so just the pacemaker works. He says, so you're getting both of them no matter what. He says, but I'll argue with the insurance company. And I got the pacemaker defibrillator. And they were right. I went from 13% heart function to around 20. 50 is normal. And he said, but that's as good as it's going to get because that 7% you picked up is a mechanical enhancement and you're not getting any better. But I gradually over the years they don't know how, why, or anything else, because they told me the only thing that would fix me was a transplant. My heart function is now up to 50%.
That's because the pacemaker started to integrate itself and grow.
I don't know, don't care.
I just don't understand how in the 70s we can make a $6 million man. Did we lose that technology or something? I mean, come on.
Well, I'm up to 1.5 million right now. I'm on my 3rd pacemaker.
Hmm.
I'm on my 5th insulin pump. I got a couple other little toys. So I'm about 1.5 million. I am not faster, stronger, or better. They got all my parts from China, from wish.com or something. I don't know.
From Temu.
Oh, come on, gentlemen. We all know they came from fucking Radio Shack.
I'd have been happy if they had come from Radio Shack. I like
No.
Temu though.
I miss Radio Shack.
I know.
They're the Radio Shack parts that didn't have a name on them. They just had a stock number.
Yeah, but you could look up the name. I worked at Radio Shack. You could look it up once you had the stock number.
Right, but the only things that didn't have names were bulk parts.
And I like Temu.com.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
I got this from them.
I guess my phone heard us talking about it because then I started getting all kinds of advertisements for Temu. I guess Temu's probably not much different than like Alibaba and all.
I don't know, but like most of the stuff I get from them works.
Right.
The fuck.
Yeah, I mean it's like you get stuff from wish.com and you're like, why the hell did I waste my time and money on this?
I thought wish.com was you wish you get it. You might not. It's a wish.
Yeah, I always got it, but and like when you would complain, they would go, yeah, we'll just give you a credit and you could buy something else. They like didn't even, you want it back? No.
That's when you know what you bought isn't worth anything, when they're just like, no, keep the one that doesn't work and we'll send you a new one.
Or we'll give you a credit and you buy something else.
Right.
But yeah, every once in a while on Wish you'd catch a winner. But usually when I bought something off of Wish, it was like, yeah, this is like going to the dollar store.
I like watching the videos where they'll order stuff from Wish, and the descriptions is like, okay, you know, somebody who doesn't have a good grasp on the English language now, and what it may be is like a direct translation from whatever language they're originally doing the advertisement.
That's a possibility.
Because I know, like with Spanish, the sentence structure is different in Spanish than it is in English, you know? So I just got to wonder because some of the descriptions that they have are like, are you serious? Like a 500 word title for what you want to buy.
Toilet paper.
I bought my nylon duty belt from Wish. I got a 3X and it was tight.
Wow.
Because it's coming from China. And
right.
See, what I don't understand, even American clothes are like that. If you measure your waist and it says 50 inches, it shouldn't matter where I get those pants. If they're supposed to have a 50-inch waist, they should fit the same.
The same thing, though. I mean, sneakers, you know, some companies, you like me, I normally wear an 11.5, but sometimes I have to go into a 12. And then I do have some shoes that are an 11. It's just the way they cut them.
Was it
but I agree with
standard or metric?
I agree. Like a 50-inch waist should be 50 inches, or you know, how many ever centimeters across the board.
Yeah, but it's not.
No.
And I guess there's nothing you could do about it. but Timo will tell you, order this 3 sizes larger than you want. than
Right.
you would normally get. They at least warn you.
And everything
Like
can be fixed with duct tape and 550 cord.
Maybe, I don't know. I bought a tactical vest, with the Molly grips and everything all over it. And for a while, I was using that instead of a camera bag. But it was tight. I could just barely zip the thing.
Right.
I wouldn't want to wear. No. That sounds like memories to a time that no. I got paid to wear that shit. I'm not wearing it voluntarily.
Had it worked the way I thought it would work, it would have been easier, but it didn't quite work that way. And I tried for about 6 months and, different configurations, and it's like, yeah, forget it. It's not going to work.
I mean, the Molly system was a hell of a lot better than the Alice system, but still, I'm not going to voluntarily do that.
Yeah, but you go out, you got your camera, and in this pocket you got spare batteries. In this pocket you got another lens. In this pocket you got everything was right there.
Motorized pull behind cart.
No, I did go to a cart with wheels.
Right. Do you have them?
But
is it motorized?
No, it's not motorized.
And I'm not talking about motorized for you to be able to ride in it, just where it's almost like a power dolly for moving pallet jack, or a power jack, pallet jack.
Listen, another couple of years I'll be riding a Rascal.
Oh shit. You might as well break up the Vespa.
But yeah, I got a believe it or not, I got it from Harbor Freight. It's black equipment case, and I got 2 cameras in there. I got flash units in there. It's about the size, maybe about a small suitcase, and it's on wheels. I'm not bringing that, by the way. I'm just bringing the camera body and some extra batteries. But I can sit on it. So what I was doing was I was using a walker and putting my camera bag on the walker. But this, I thought I was going to have to kill somebody one day. Because they made a remark I didn't like. And I started to go after him, and I said, you know what? Just let him live. He's stupid. He'll do it to himself. That's another reason I don't want to carry a gun anymore.
Todd, I was talking to Dan the other day because I went into Petco. I think this was a Saturday. Went into Petco, and as I walk in with my dog, there's these 2 people, and they got 2 dachshunds. And these dogs, they start like running towards my dog. Of course, they're on leashes, so they can't, and they're yip, 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 yip.
And your dog would refer to them as snacks?
Yeah. And, she was very good. She didn't respond by barking back or anything. We get to the back of the store. They finally quiet down. So I walk up near the front, and we usually get her some of the treats that they have in, there's like a cart with treats that you can kind of scoop out and bag up and everything. And these dogs are barking and barking and barking and barking. And I'm looking, and there's an employee at the register, and there's an employee back by the grooming center, which is still, it's in ear and eye shot of what's going on. And I just began to get kind of like an auditory overload. And matter of fact, I had called an employee over because they didn't have any bags to put the treats in. They came over, and these dogs were just incessantly barking. And she gave me the bag, and I was gonna get some treats, but I had had enough. And I walked out of the store, and I'm going in the parking lot, and I'm sure I don't even know if anybody was around, but they probably thought I was a nut job because I'm like, motherfuck it, and I'm just like screaming. I couldn't take it. It was too much. And it blew my mind because I called the store, and I spoke to the manager, who was absolutely no help. I hate this. I hate when I can't remember why I was telling. What were we talking about before?
The dogs with the.
No, I know what I was talking about, but what led me into this PetSmart
Oh,
or Petco?
dealing with stupid people.
But the manager, I'm like, do you guys have a policy on? Well, first I called corporate. Corporate has no policy whatsoever on pet behavior inside their stores. So I had to call the store itself. The first time they hung up on me. So like things are just go more and more. Like I'm already pissed off and fired up. Because I felt that an employee should have said, listen, if your dogs aren't going to settle down, they need to leave. Well, I called the store, and I'm speaking to the manager. The first time I was on hold for 6 minutes, and they hung up on me. So I called back, and he's like, well, yeah, if a pet's being an aggressive, we ask it to leave, but barking like they're dogs. And I'm like, really? Like that's to me, that's the same bull as that couple who has the baby, and you're trying to eat dinner, but the baby's screaming its head off. And instead of taking the baby and going to the bathroom or stepping outside for a few minutes, because nobody wants to go out and hear a screaming baby, But yeah, they said, they won't ask them to leave. And I said, so if I was in the store and I was yelling at another customer, would you ask me to leave? And they said, well, yeah, because that would be considered acting aggressively. And I'm like, I had called Dan up. I was just so fired up. Like I just kind of needed to vent, but I also was going to try and talk him into coming down, and we were going to stand in front of like at the entrance of Petco and just start like yelling like, hey, how are you? Just yelling at people as they come in, and then refuse to leave. But I know there was another point as to why I told that story, but I don't remember what it was. But that's one of the other things that has me so ready for this weekend. And honestly, like, I mean, I know UTVs were mentioned. I don't know what else anybody plans on doing, but sometimes I like to just sit and stare up into the trees, man. Because I really need to reset myself because I've just been on edge ever since.
Yeah, she got me last week. I'm in here. I forget what I was trying to do, and it wasn't working. And that stupid alarm on the pump start going off. And I had whatever I was doing, I had to finish it. I couldn't like stop and deal with the pump. And I'm screaming at the pump at the top of my lungs. I'm screaming at the computer screen. I'm screaming at her when she comes in tell me to stop screaming. It's like something, once you start that downward spiral, it's like the drain. It's like, you start out, you're here, and then you're here, and then you're here, and
And
then
the crazy thing is, though, is like once you reach a certain point, and I told Dan, I said, I've been angry before, but when I get angry now, it's more of a rage. Like it is deep and it is heavy. Oh, you were talking about doing something to someone. And that's why I started telling that story. I've been lucky that in my mind, I'm still able to make good decisions. Because honestly, like I was watching, like in my mind, I was playing out. These two come out with their dogs, and I walk over and I kick the living piss out of their dogs, which is, I like animals, and it really isn't the dog's fault that these owners are just ignorant pieces of crap that bring their irritating piece.
Yeah, if it can't stay under control, maybe you should be bringing it in the store.
Right.
Like I would not bring my dog into a pet store with other dogs unless he's going to the groomer and, he's not going to be walking around the store because
right.
I know he's going to carry on like an idiot.
So, and a lot of that comes from like a lack of dog socialization, which again, you can't blame the dog for that. But you just think, like for me, when I go through life, and there's a lot of times when I blow my top and I'm an ignorant piece of shit. But for the most part, when I go out and I'm doing something and I'm acting a certain way and people don't do it, my mistake is thinking that they have the same amount of sense as me, or courtesy. Like if I'm going down the road and I see a sign that says, left lane closed 1,500 feet ahead, I will right then and there do what I can to get in the right lane. Not these other assholes that are so much better than you, and are the reason why there's a fucking traffic jam, because they're better than you and they got to get up ahead, I told my wife, I said, when you retire, we're going to find a plot up in the hills somewhere. I mean, honestly, I don't even know if we need to find a plot, I'll bushcraft something, I mean, there's all kinds of people that wind up living up in the mountains that nobody knows about for 20, 30 years.
Well, unfortunately, I got to see a doctor every month for something. So that ain't going to work for me.
And I got a totally different situation. So, no, I'm good. I moved out of the woods.
Well, you're lucky to a degree, though, Jeremy. Not lucky because you can't go out, but your lack of mobility allows you and kind of gives you a reason to be by yourself,
So it drives me absolutely batshit crazy. I'm not an introvert.
Well, I'm not an introvert either. I just can't stand people anymore. I don't want to be by myself. It's what being out in society brings out in me. Now, because I'll go out and I'll talk to people. I have good going out experiences, but.
Well, okay. So you said something that I'm going to elaborate on and explain my thoughts on it. You said driving around on the road and you see 500 feet lane or 1,500 feet lane, lanes collapse and you got to get over.
Right.
Oh, okay. You're the person that gets over kind of immediately and nicely and politely. Then there are those assholes who don't and wait to the last minute trying to cut in line, blah, blah, blah. The difference between me and you of how we look at it, I go, they're in a hurry. I'm not. And their hurry, I don't give a shit. They do not affect me going to bed. They do not affect me retiring. They do not affect anything in my world other than they're in a hurry. And I get a laugh at them. Why? Because slow and steady is fast.
Well,
But in the same token, with the things that you're dealing with, it really aggravates you, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking
People-
about the
Give an
stuff that
example.
you're doing with the politicians or whatever's going on, because I don't know much about it. You
I'm just
know,
straight being ignored.
right? But
I'm not-
it
I'm not allowed
pisses you
to
off,
exist.
right?
You could say that.
Because this is the thing that I've noticed, and I'm not taking a stab at you, but
No,
you
go
got
ahead.
people to say, "Oh, I don't care." Well, no, you just don't care about the things that I care about. There are things that, irritate you that I would say I don't care about,
Well, see, now the only problem I have is rules have been broken. That's what I'm dealing with, is rules were broken. People, trying to say, ooh, I need to cut in line. Okay, whatever. You're not breaking the rules or laws. If a law gets broken, no, I got a problem, because laws are laws. That's what I've been dealing with my shit is, laws were broken. I'm the victim that just so happens to have evidence. Now, unfortunately, the crime affects all of us who served and exposes a lot worse than that. That's why I'm being ignored by the ones who are supposed to help.
Well, I mean, listen, anybody who really thinks that our government has the absolute best, our absolute best interest at heart is foolish, If they truly cared about mankind and everything, we wouldn't have given asylum to Nazi scientists just so we could get the formula for rocket fuel or whatever, we wouldn't have set troops out in the desert and then blew up nuclear weapons just to see the effect, I mean, it's one thing if we do it against our enemies, but when we do it to our own people,
Oh, see, that's
And don't get me wrong, I still think I've traveled to many, many, many countries, and I do believe America is the best country. You don't see people flocking to anywhere else in this world like you see them flocking to America. So that says something about the greatness of our country. But I also, nothing surprises me coming from our government anymore.
So you want to know the one thing that we absolutely have over every other country on the planet? And it's the most simplest, basic thing that we take for granted.
Wawa. Oh, you probably don't even know what a Wawa is.
No, I said basic.
Wawa's pretty basic around here.
Yeah.
Really? So do you have trash service?
We do.
Right. You know what other countries don't have?
Trash service. We have places here that don't have trash service.
Right. But everywhere in the United States, it's either if something gets screwed up, we'll see. I'm just using the train wreck as an example. I'm not talking about it, but I'm talking about it. It's a problem. They are going to clean it up. Other countries don't clean up.
Oh yeah. Look at is it India?
Oh, no, look at all of them.
I mean, there's some areas though where all of the like their water is not even supposed to really be drinkable or anything because it's just completely filled with garbage.
The Nile River that goes straight through Iraq, especially through the top end through Turkey and most down into Iraq into Mosul. That river, you see three-eyed fish and weird things, and it's not potable. It is completely and that is documented in records going back into the 60s.
Right. But the funny thing is everybody thinks that we need to cut like our trash down and everything. You know, we're not even the worst offender when it comes to, you know, gases.
We're the ones with
and
the most rules,
stuff like
and
that. Yeah.
we're the ones with the most rules and the most. We do the most fines, keeping regulations, everything else on the planet. We keep absolute better control than everywhere else. That's why mass manufacturing and everything else is not done here, because they don't have to follow the rules somewhere else.
Right.
That's where, I was the hazmat guy. I'm DOT, EPA, environmental quality officer. I have all the way certifications all the way up to federal train that HASCOM train the trainer. I'm the guy that trains everybody. Apparently, being honest, I forgot 90% of this shit. But yeah, there are specific. Our country has more rules and regulations. We are kept clean. We're the vacation spot. That's why other countries, and it's been in, I'm going to bring up the news. It's been brought up that, keep China from buying property here. They want property because it's cleaner here than there. And
I know if it wasn't for the isms, we could probably get into a really good discussion.
Oh, well, listen, it's 11:15. I got to get up in the morning to drive somebody to work. So I think
yes, sir.
if you guys want to stay on, I can make Sean host, I guess.
No, I don't know if Jeremy and I could obey the rules.
I
am getting a little tired too, though.
I could turn off the live stream too. It's about time for that anyway.
Yeah,